Monster Brick Reviews.
Here's a look at the MK14 rifle building set. Here's the box, and it says it has almost 1,500 pieces. And you can see with the box design, it's very similar to Lego's designs with this strip along the bottom, this brick-built design. And here's the back. It shows the different components. Some things are different color. It's supposed to be a 1-to-1 scale with a loadable magazine, and the magazine is removable, and some information about the other features on it. And here's the dimensions along the top. So there you go. As far as the parts go, they look to be compatible with Lego. They're in bags. Now, in the manual, it mentions 3 bags that you separate the build into. But as far as I can tell, these bags are not really numbered 1 through 3. They're numbered 1 through 4. So I don't really know. Like, it has a, 4001 B-4, 4001 A-1. So I don't really know. And then there's bags that are not numbered at all, like this one. It's not numbered. This box had been opened before, probably by the manufacturer. You can see it has double tape. When I've seen that in the past, my guess is that they may have been missing parts, and so they had to add parts back in the box, and they just put them all into one bag. And so maybe that's what happened here. I'm not 100% sure what's going on. But there's quite a few bags. Somebody might be able to decipher that, the bag numbering. As far as the parts go, they look to be compatible with Lego. They are 99% Technic. There is some standard building blocks in here, but it's mostly Technic. So if you don't know what Technic is, it's these other parts that primarily use pins and have holes in them, or these bricks that have the holes in them. That's the Technic building. Now, the good news is that Technic building will yield a stronger gun. I recently built a different version of the MK14. It's also available on Amazon. It's white and orange and blue. And most of it was brick built. It had a minority amount of Technic, maybe only 20% Technic. And it wasn't that strong of a build. At the very end, they actually ask you to put clear stickers along the entire sides of that model in order to keep it together. So I'm happy to see that this is mostly Technic. It should make for a much stronger build. As far as the colors go, the colors are a match for what you see with Lego sets, but it's mostly black, so you're not that hard to match. And then as far as the studs go, they do not have any printing on the studs. And then some of the parts that you see in here, they're a little unusual. I see in here some string, some rubber bands. I see this really big couple of springs, maybe 3 or 4 springs in here. And so that'll be interesting to see how those fit into the build. As far as this red goes, I can see that this red is not as clear as Lego's red. It's a little bit of a hazy red, and it's also not a good match for Lego's particular shape too. So that's interesting. And then it has these 3 really long axles. That is kind of normal to see really long axles in some Lego builds. And then this is unusual. This is a completely molded piece, and it's not a Lego piece at all. And it even has some metal in it here. And presumably you use this like thumb nut in order to tighten it onto the rest of your build. And it also has a clear lens on either side, and this can be rotated. So I'm assuming there's a little bit of play feature in there, and that they made this not Lego, so it'd be a little bit more realistic. It's interesting that they chose to not brick build the scope. There are also a couple of stickers. So you see here the sticker sheet. It's also interesting that these are so large. I think these really large ones are not meant to hold any brick-built sub-assemblies together, but rather I think it's meant to cover a large panel all in one shot, like maybe one of these panels that are in here. So it looks like that's what those stickers are for, is to cover that really big panel. And then this, I believe, goes on the stock, but I'm not sure. It may actually lay over several sub-assemblies, and then you stick it across all of them, kind of locking the sub-assembly together. So I'm guessing that's how that wood texture is going to look. Let's look at the instructions. It's kind of a thin booklet. I was surprised at how thin it was until I opened it. When I opened it, I realized why it was so thin. Check this out. Once you open it, they cram so many instructions into every page. So normally Lego might put 2, maybe 3 steps on a page like this, but here they've put 15 into one. So I'd say it's the pacing of the instructions really tight, very aggressive pacing. Why does that matter? It matters because it means that the parts that you need to collect for that step, the images are going to be really small. It's going to be hard to make out color differences, as well as what part you're actually supposed to go and get. So that'll be a little bit of a challenge for somebody who it's their first time building in Technic or building a set like this. It might be a little frustrating because you won't be able to tell the difference between, for example, this little black pin. There's 2 kinds of little tiny black pins, and I can sort of make out that this little black pin is different from this little black pin. And you're going to need to know that, and you'll be able to kind of pick up on it. That's not impossible. You can still kind of make it out, but there's a reason Lego doesn't do that. They know that that's going to be quite frustrating for people, and they're going to use the wrong parts and make mistakes. So you can see that it's labeled bag 1. I thought this might be a typo, but bag 1 builds most of the gun, and that tells me that it's primarily Technic in order to build that quickly, build that amount of mass that quickly. Once you go from there, you notice that the gun with the trigger and the main handle for the gun. Then the steps continue, quite a few steps, and then we continue on all the way to, when do we get to step 2? Let's see. Not sure, but I think that, yeah, you'll get to step 2, then you'll get to step 3, and then after that, there's no more steps. So that's why I was confused, because they don't line up with the number of bags. But you can see that at the very end, there's some information about play features and how to work different play features. For example, getting that magazine in there, the bullet firing out, ejecting cartridges, which it does do, and then your stickers and where all the stickers go onto here. And so it does look like what it does is those little these guys, which are traditionally projectiles in Lego sets, they push into one of these, which is the spring-loaded piece that Lego has. And they put those in, and then this fires out the out of the gun, and then this is ejected like it's a shell. So that gets ejected out of the side. So that's a clever way to give you that play function, and it's always satisfying to eject shells from a gun like this. All right, so that is a look at the kit, and I'll do an update once I've fully built it, but I know for people, before they spend their money, they want to know what they're in for. Hopefully this gives you kind of an insight into how many pieces, how difficult it's going to be. Overall, if you or your kid have built Lego sets before, especially Technic Lego sets, it should probably be fine. But if you're a beginner, never built Lego, never built Technic, it might be on the more challenging side for you, and just take your time. All right, thanks. I hope that was helpful.